Into news at 6. Public safety leaders in Northeast Wisconsin welcomed Senator Tammy Baldwin to the Green Bay Police Department earlier today.
Senator Baldwin met with those law enforcement officers to discuss the fentanyl and opioid crisis in the state and the work that's being done to combat the issue. Baldwin presented issues contributing to the crisis, such as supply chain coming in from other countries, and then gave resources for public safety leaders to use in the line of duty. The number of both overdoses and deaths related to opioids faced an increase in 2023 across the state. Senator Baldwin says she's looking to provide more protective and preventative resources for public safety.
Our law enforcement and first responders are on the front lines every day fighting the fentanyl crisis in Wisconsin. I'm committed to making it easier for our first responders to get the training that they need to administer life-saving overdose reversal drugs like Narcan.
Senator Baldwin also called for more detection equipment and personnel at the southern border to reduce the flow of synthetic fentanyl into the country.